Girl, you've got yourself a heck of a smile, rosy and rowdy and redeeming. But I can't help noticing that it's been a while since I have seen it beaming. Oh, the wind is beckoning, come on, taste this moment before it's gone. Every breath is a secret dawn. Oh, sister, come on, what's keeping you from singing? What's keeping you from dancing, dancing, dancing? What happened to the whispering stories that invite you to listen to your heart? Listen to your heart. What's stopping the sweet, sweet silence of the night from channeling the winding of your mind? Whatever's getting in the way of the truest part of you, sister, lay that load aside. Oh, sister, lay it aside. Lay it aside. Whatever's getting in the way of the truest part of you, oh, lay that load aside. Lay it aside. Lay it aside. Lay it aside. Although the road you're on may be as rough as they come, walk on, walk on, walk on. Remember that the heart of a woman is a powerful drum. Listen to it beating in you. Listen to it beating. Listen, listen. Listen to it beating. Listen, listen. Listen to it. It's beating in you. It's beating in you. What's keeping you from singing? What's keeping you from dancing, dancing, dancing? What happened to the whispering stories that invite you to listen to your heart? Listen to your heart. What's stopping the sweet, sweet silence of the night from channeling the winding of your mind? Whatever's getting in the way of the truest part of you, sister, lay it aside. Oh, sister, lay it aside.
to Beacon Unitarian Universalist Congregation. My name is Reverend Robin. I use she, her pronouns. For those of you with any visual impairments this day, I am a short white woman, elevated by some black heels, with shoulder-length brown hair and rainbow-rimmed glasses.
Welcome. I am Abigail Laney, the Worship Associate today. I use she, her pronouns, and I am a 15-year-old biracial girl with medium-length dark brown hair, and I am about 5'6", 5'7" on a good day.
Welcome, beloved, across mountains, miles, minutes of wandering, across online connections. Perhaps you have come this day wondering, is this the place I should be now?
Welcome to all of you, especially those aspects of you that were just
too much, too loud, too serious, too fabulous.
Too skinny, too fat, too confident, too worried.
Too weird, too much.
Welcome all the too much here, along with your grief, your joy, your dreams, and worries.
Welcome all of you here, and I invite you to take a moment across the mountains, the miles, the minutes of wandering. Just take a moment to breathe in and rekindle that light. It might be raining outside, but I see a lot of bright light in this sanctuary. Would you breathe with me? Together, we bring our light to this faith of transformation, of compassion and seeking.
Welcome. Welcome home.
Please rise in body or spirit and join now in singing hymn number 361, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Tuli Patel. My pronouns are she, her, and I am a large woman of South Asian descent. And if you really want to know if I'm from South Asia, get me a little excited or angry and my Indian accent will come out. So you gotta listen carefully. This morning I'm especially pleased that I'm adorned. Is that an okay word to use?
Adorned.
With accessories from our tag sale that happened yesterday. And I want to give a big shout out to our leaders, Colleen Mannion, Stephanie Zarek, and Linda Anderson, and everybody else who contributed in their township. And we raised $2,478. Did I get that number right?
Woo!
What is the number?
It's $2,465.
$65. If you missed the tag sale this year, it will be happening. it's not just that it may happen, it will be happening next May. So really, you can, and this is, by the way, from Tiffany's.
Wow.
$10. Okay, so today we are going to bless our backpacks. I want to thank those of you who brought your backpacks ahead of time, and those of you, I know some of you are sitting with your backpacks. Even if you don't have your backpack today on you, we know you have it at home because you need it for school. So come on forward with your backpacks, or not, just come on forward. Everybody who's starting on a new adventure, come on forward. Let's have Lily and Lonnie and Irene and Hank and Abigail, everybody come on up. So, tell me, what
grab a
is
seat
in
and hang
your
on the stage.
backpack? Shout it out and I will call it out again so that our people online can hear. What is in your backpacks? Folders. What else?
Here, Abigail, take it.
Nobody eats lunch? Agendas, folders, agendas. What else is in your backpack? No one uses pencils anymore? Pencils? Pencil case, thank God, pencil case. How about sharpeners? No sharpeners? Maybe not. Mechanical pencils, all right. What else is in your backpack? No one has calculators? No one has a very big calculator? Abigail has a large calculator, which is in keeping with her grade, right, Abigail? You're a 10th grader? Okay, excellent. All right.
Well, maybe, friends, you were hoping for some Harry Potter kind of magic with a backpack blessing. You were, right? You were all ready for it. But the thing is, a backpack blessing isn't about putting some magic in your backpacks. Instead, this morning, we are naming the magic that is already within you. The first thing that I have here is some water from all of our water ceremonies for more than 25 years.
Reverend Robin, sterilized water.
Sterilized water, yes, yes. From rivers with all sorts of algae in it, and we're not going to drink it. Water is essential for living, right? Can you live without water? No way, no way. But you know what else is essential for living? Community. Community is essential for living, and I wonder if our adults here could help me think about some of the gifts of community. What are some of the gifts of community, beloved? Laughter.
Friendship. Food. Support. Somebody else said something else. Connection. Fun. Yep. All those things are necessary for living as well. So today, your backpacks, the ones that you brought, I'm very glad that they're not as full as the ones that you carry to school, because I've tried lifting some of these backpacks and I'm a little bit like, nah, that's too heavy for me. So they'll soon be filled with all the things that you need, the folders, the agendas, the crayons, and the pencils. And Squishmallows? Nobody takes Squishmallows to school? Sometimes. There you go. How about glitter lip gloss? No? Nobody? Lonnie? Lily? Glitter lip gloss? Yes, right? Yes, absolutely. Excellent. All right, we have a few more things to help you this year. Reverend Emily and Reverend Robin, would you help me hand it out, please? A rainbow pencil that's fully recycled to remind you of our 4th Unitarian Universalist principle. Anybody? 1, 2, 3. Ding, 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 ding. Search for truth and meaning. Yes. Also in the pouch is a calming strip. You just touch it and feel it, and you come back to the present moment. A rainbow eraser to remind you that even when we try our very best, sometimes mistakes happen. Life will not be perfect. You will not be perfect, and that is okay. Use those erasers. It's beautiful with all its mistakes.
Wait, Dr. Julie, I want to add one more thing. I know that we sprinkled the backpacks with water, and now I want to add the flame of our faith.
No, that's too dangerous. Okay.
Okay, wait, I got another way to do it.
Okay, I think so.
How about I take this magic flashlight, and I take some light from the chalice,
This is why I
And
get so nervous.
add it, except I need a flashlight that works. There we go.
And you're going to add it to the back. Very good.
Each
very
one.
Good. Very good. Thank you for not torching the backpacks.
Okay. Save it for the end of the year.
So, kids, would you all... Did you just say... Yes, she did. Would you all, children, please extend your hands out like this? So Reverend Robin, ready to receive the light. Reverend Robin and Reverend Emily are going to come and put some light into your hands. And this is your blessing for this school year. We bless the backpacks, we're blessing your hands. We bless you with the strength of community, the commitment to search for truth, grounding and compassion, and yes, the light of our faith that lives in each one of you.
Okay, get your hands.
Thank you, Reverend Robin. So at Beacon, many of you know, but some of you might not know, we have a cooperative program for children and youth. That means that we all share in the care and love and guidance of our youngest Unitarian Universalists. We have over 37 volunteers, and 10% of them, over 10% of them, do not have kids or youth in the program. So we need to bless them. Do they need our blessing? Yeah, you bet they do. So I'd like to invite forward all the adult guides as well, please. I see Ellen and Gordon and Gina and Carol and Nicole and Lindsay. Where did Deborah go? Deborah's here. Erica, Evan. I'm not sure I've got everybody. If you are a volunteer guide, come on forward. Macaulay, you can come down for Betty. There you go.
Are you ready? Really? Are you ready for this adventure you're about to go on? Well, we want you to know that this adventure that you go on, come on, Macaulay, you cannot do it alone. Are you with me? Because we live in a culture where we often go it alone. But are you promising one another that you won't let one another go it alone? Is that right? And to the congregation, do we promise them that we won't let them go it alone? That's right. We do this because if you didn't hear from Reverend Robin, community is essential. Can you say that with me? Community is essential.
You all, adult guides, are helping our youngest Unitarian Universalists live into beings they are and will become. And just a little sidebar here. There's a reason that y'all are not called teachers, because ours is not a faith in which we put knowledge or impart a particular kind of understanding. We teach them how to think, and we hold what they bring into the space with us, right? So there's no like, I will now teach you 2 + 2. That's not how it works here. So you're adult guides. As a guide, you will need to be patient and listen deeply. Remember, resilience is created through feeling deeply, even anxiety, but living courageously in the face of uncertainty. We promise, as Reverend Emily says, to support you, love you, and companion you.
So
Go.
all right. I'd like to invite the children in this blessing to raise your hands out like this. You can put your hands up or your hands and offer your blessing. And then to the congregation, I'd like for you also to lift your hands up in a blessing. And then repeat after me. May you be patient, kind, and loving. May you be patient, kind, and loving. May our gratitude be a balm on the hard days. May our gratitude be a balm on the hard days. And a light on the good days. And a light on the good days. May you deepen your faith. May you deepen your faith. As our children and youth guide your development.
Thank you. Before you go back to your seats, one final thing about lights that Reverend Robin is going to tell us about. When we're done, you're going to return the flashlights to Reverend Robin.
So I invite you to take the light and turn the flashlight on, and you're going to find an adult guide to go to and share the light with them on their hands, not in their eyes, in their hands. And then you're going to give the flashlights back to me. As much fun as it would be to have the flashlights all morning. Okay, so adult guides, take as much light, come forward.
You are now blessed. Thank you.
Oh, I'm trying to get. All right, if you're done sharing the light, you can.
I was able to stand up. My knees
Thank you, Lily. Light. Light. Go ahead, Ken. Can you light the candles for Ken?
Good morning. My name is Kit Stinson. I am a oh, we'll pause for a little more light to be shared. Can't have too much. I'm a chaplain here at Beacon. Chaplains extend the spiritual care of the community by practicing deep listening and compassionate presence. Everyone needs that at some point in our lives, and often the person who is offering spiritual care experiences healing right along with the person who is receiving it. If you'd like to learn more about the chaplain program, please speak with any of us or any member of the lead ministry team. You'll find more information on the Beacon website, and today, on this rainy day in New Jersey, you can come downstairs after the service to some warmth and good food and visit the chaplain's table at the Connections Fair along with the leaders of many other Beacon programs and teams. It really is remarkable to see the depth of engagement and the variety of ways to engage here. There's something for everyone. And in the spirit of public announcements, I've been asked to let you know, as you may have seen, that the community group deadline for sign-up has been extended. It was originally September 15th. We're now giving it a couple of extra weeks to September 30th, so there will be time for you to think about whether you'd like to be part of that wonderful ministry. It really is a very special way of engaging with one another. So in that spirit, we light a candle of gratitude, as Dr. Tooley mentioned, for everyone who helped make yesterday's resale boutiques so much profitable fun. We light a candle of joy for this time of backpacks, briefcases, sign-up sheets, new beginnings, and new opportunities. At the same time, though, I don't think I'm alone in seeing anxiety, exhaustion, and a general sense of feeling overwhelmed around. Maybe it's because of the abrupt transition from summer back into more structured routines, or maybe because there's just so much to worry about. New viruses and variants, new attacks on the rights and freedoms of our marginalized neighbors, new attempts to erode the institutions of justice and mercy here and around the world. As we approach the 22nd anniversary of the September 11th attacks, we light a candle of remembrance for everyone who suffered then and for all who continue to suffer the trauma of those losses. We light a candle of healing for everyone who is facing illness and infirmity, for Nikita and Rami Abdelnabi, whose friends Chris and Danny Giacomo Singh have asked that we keep Nikita and Rami in our hearts. We light a candle of honor and compassion for Isabel Arnston and Ruth Sprague, both over 100 years old and in hospice. And finally, we light a candle of grace for ourselves, our anxious, exhausted, overwhelmed selves. Yes, we may be all of those things, but we are also in community, and that means that we are not alone. For all these things and more, I invite you to come forward now and light a candle here in our sanctuary or wherever you are.
This is the symbol of our faith, the chalice born as a symbol of safety to refugees. It is a guiding light and sometimes a warning in our world. Today, as children begin in their small groups, we take the light of our chalice here and share it with the children to take in their chalice. The light is never diminished when we share it. It grows and is magnified. I'd like to invite forward Amelia Schell to carry the chalice out during the candle lighting when the children all go to their small groups.
Kids, you can come downstairs. Follow Amelia.
Good morning. I am Emily Bogus, and I have the great privilege and honor of serving on the lead ministry team of our congregation. My pronouns are she, her, and today I'm 5'8", but getting smaller, Abby. A white woman with, sandy blonde hair, and I'm wearing a Beacon Cafe apron as my vestments today. And just to tell all of you that you do not have to be ordained to wear a Beacon Cafe apron. You too can wear this. See me afterwards. But as we move from that, I'd invite you to really sit comfortably in your chair for our loving kindness meditation, or along the wall as you are standing. Take note of being present in your body, and be present to this sanctuary that is filled with ancestors, with emerging liberation and hope. Breathe in and breathe out. Notice how your body accommodates each breath. And as you breathe, turn your focus to your heart. Feel your heart fill with gratitude and warmth. And if your heart is a little hardened this morning, just start to imagine it. Imagine your heart being filled with gratitude. As you do so, I invite you to call to mind a person, a pet, a being of past, present, or future whose steady love and unconditional acceptance of you touches your heart in a special way. This is a person who has loved you even when you have felt you were at your worst. Call them to mind, call them into this room, and allow yourself to experience their loving kindness as if they are here beside you holding your hand. Notice how this presence eases your body and mind and relax into the connection. Now put this loving kindness and this warmth and presence that you are receiving into words and say silently after me. May I be filled with loving kindness. Go for it. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be whole. Next, bring to mind someone who means a lot to you. Bring them into this room and feel the goodness of this heart connection. Think of their names and bring them in. And then I invite you to call more people in. Bring to mind someone you recognize but don't really know. A school crossing guard, maybe. or the person who manages the produce section in your grocery store. Maybe that neighbor who you've met a couple of times but forgotten their names, and so you just nod to one another now. Shifting now, bring someone who you don't really care for. You just seem to rub each other the wrong way. Maybe you've even been in conflict. It could be someone you know personally or someone you know of, maybe someone in the news. As you evoke them, try to let go of just one part of your difficulty with them. It may help to imagine them as they were when they were a young child babbling in the back of the sanctuary, vulnerable, needing before things became difficult. For all of these people that you've brought into this room, let us now offer our well wishes, imagining that they are right now being touched by them. You may repeat after me silently or out loud. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be whole. Now let's bring the whole world into this sanctuary. As many people and animals and places as you can make wishes for. Include yourself. Just maintain an awareness, a simple awareness of the presence of all who share this planet, and include that planet, our home. Saying silently or out loud, may we all be filled with loving kindness. May we all be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be whole. I invite you to come back into this sanctuary, open your eyes, and let us sing.
Please stand and body your spirit and join in singing hymn 1031, May I Be Filled with Loving Kindness. That's in the teal hymnal.
May
Thank you, beloved. I'd like to invite for Dick Muldoon for a time of welcoming and deepening.
Hello. My name is Dick Muldoon. I'm a tall, white-haired senior male wearing a yellow polo-style shirt and khaki pants. Pronouns he, him, his. I want to invite you to times of connecting and of deepening. Okay. Right after services, we're having a connections fair downstairs with coffee and brunch. I've heard it's good. You can learn all about ways to get further connected to a ministry here. There will be a Connecting at Beacon session at 12:15. It's upstairs. That's for anyone who is newer to Beacon and wants to learn more about membership. For those of you joining virtually, there should be a link already or will shortly be in your chat. And at 12:30, there is a presentation in the library and a Q&A on transcendental meditation. And now I have a special invitation. Each morning before services, members of the Beacon Welcome Team to open the doors, put hymnals on the chairs, put hymn numbers on the rack, the right ones, we hope, or perhaps that's just me. We distribute anything the ministry team wants you to have for services. We collect the offering, and importantly, before you sit down, we welcome you, both newcomers and old friends, when you arrive. We need a few more people to join the welcome team and greet or usher once a month. Not only is it the easiest job involved in conducting services, but here's a secret. It's also one of the most gratifying. Where else do you get a chance to spend 15 minutes smiling at people and having them give smiles back, genuine smiles? It doesn't remind me in any way of where I used to work. If you're interested, please talk to me after services or contact Suzanne Wagner. Either of us can get you set up. And now, a time for deepening. We are gathered on the ancestral, continued, and unceded lands of the Lenni Lenape. Okay. For those of us joining virtually, I invite you to share not only your name, but also the name of the peoples on whose land you reside. Part of the work of accountability to the first peoples of this land is learning who we are and who were the first peoples and where they lived. For those gathered here, I would like you now to take a moment to say hello to someone today, perhaps someone you do not know well. For some, it can be a fist bump or a hug, others a wave or smile, but please share the gift of welcome. It is a core practice of our faith.
It is always a joy to ask you to come back and to hear the resounding chorus that is the greeting. I love that when we ask you to greet one another, you're not halvesies in, you're all the way in. And it is a beautiful thing. And now to continue sharing the stories of our community, I would like to invite Gina forward to share some of her family's story with us.
Great, thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Gina Vijayasingham, and my pronouns are she, her, hers. Thanks for this opportunity today to talk about my involvement at Beacon. So I've been a member with my family since we moved to Summit about 10 years ago. And as a kid, I grew up in the Midwest and was taken to church every Sunday. This is how my parents grew up and their parents and so on. But as with so many others, I met and married someone from a different faith background. And this is what led Sheeran and me to Beacon when we were looking to be part of a religious community. We wanted to be part of an institution where we and our children can each come as we are. We are glad to have found that here at Beacon, a place that is accepting of all backgrounds and faith traditions. My children have also felt at home at Beacon since the very beginning. We probably saw Dr. Tooley, Jermaine, and Reverend Emily on our very first Sundays here visiting many years ago. The children love the welcoming spaces and, of course, all the toys. My first involvement as an adult guide was in the pre-K room. And to make it easy, the staff supplies all the curriculum and all the needed learning materials. As we got to learn and we also got to learn by example by watching the other adult guides lead the groups. And over time, we've been guides for different small groups of various ages and grades. This year, I'm working with a 4th and 5th grade group for the second time. Through this work, I've seen how children at the very youngest ages are given key lessons that get built upon over time. Through stories, activities, and more, they get more background and an understanding about themselves, their bodies, and their communities. They have fun, they meet children from other schools and towns. They also learn the rituals and practices of Unitarian Universalism, the principles, the chalice lighting, and for older children, there are youth groups. There are also special programs like Our Whole Lives, 5th grade Rite of Passage, and 9th grade Coming of Age. Our family has been lucky to have been involved in these programs. This is one of the reasons why I support Beacon with my money and time. I'm also grateful to my fellow members and friends for helping to support the children, parents, and families through this great programming. Thanks so much.
Thank you each so much for bringing your light here this day, and our morning offering will now, beloved, be most gratefully received.
thank you, Beacon Choir. An amazing group of musicians. It's always so much fun to sing together. And we always are looking for more people to join as well, so you can hear more information about it afterwards in the Connections Fair downstairs. Thank you, choir.
Our first reading today is from Naomi Shihab Nye. The Arabs used to say, when a stranger appears at your door, feed him for 3 days before asking who he is, where he's come from, where he's headed. That way, he'll have strength enough to answer, or by then, you'll be such good friends, you don't care. Our second reading is Hebrews 13:2. Do not neglect to show hospitality to strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unaware.
Thank you, Abby. Beloved, I love being part of a team at Beacon, the lead ministry team, to be specific, with Tuli and Emily. On the regular, being an external processor, I engage my colleagues in theological reflection. Now, they may characterize this as procrastination, or perhaps distraction, or even, on a rough day, affliction by an extrovert. But I prefer the phrase theological reflection. Recently, I was thinking about our theme for this month, the gift of welcome, when I caught Dr. Tuli in the hallway, and I asked her, I have a question about welcoming. And she said, oh, okay. I wonder, I said, Tuli, if you were on a Sunday greeting at the front door and you saw someone coming in to Beacon with a hat on that said MAGA, Make America Great Again, would you welcome them? Yes, she said, of course I would, Robin. All right, I said. Well, what if they had a MAGA hat on and like a t-shirt that said, support the gun lobby? Well, yes, I hope so. Come on, Tuli, really? Like, really, would you welcome? What about someone with a MAGA hat on and a support the gun lobby and a pro-life bracelet? She paused. It was like a religious double dog dare you moment. Like in the Westerns where you hear doo-doo-doo. Well, Tuli said, are they behaving in some way outside of covenant? Well, no, I said, I just mean like at the door. They've just come to the front door and you're there greeting. Well, then I would hope so, she concluded. When I talk about welcome in our faith, this is almost always the question that comes up. Would you welcome, fill in the blank, some kind of political position usually that seems antithetical to our beliefs? Would that person be welcome at Beacon? It's like theological arguments around evil that always at some point bring up the Holocaust, or talk about the existence of God, and someone will ask, then why do children suffer? Welcome is a theological concept that is deeply rooted in Unitarian Universalism, particularly with the Universalists, who preached of a God who would not let go, who would never cast anyone eternally to hell. No one was beyond God's welcome. And then there are the Unitarians, from whom we get the symbol of our chalice, who in the midst of World War II, two of our own, Martha and Reverend Waitstill Sharp, traveled to Germany to help Jews and others escape Nazi persecution, and used the chalice created by a refugee, Hans Deutsch, as a symbol across languages and cultures and under threat to convey welcome. We are safe. We are trustworthy. We will companion one another. Welcome is a state of being as much as it is a practice of our faith. These two faiths, Unitarians and Universalists, that once were the heretics, the outcasts, the rebels who ran for their lives from the exclusion of a creed. But also in our tradition are the Unitarians, who became the most powerful of the Boston Brahmin and the founding fathers, who used that power at times to define who is in and who is out. You see, our spiritual ancestors embody the tension between having the power to draw the circle and of those leaping toward inclusion and widening the welcome. Now, I walked away from that theological conversation with Tuli feeling pretty confident in my approach. Of course, I thought there were limits to welcome, of who was in and who was out. And wasn't that good and right? Right, Abby? Until I thought of my own family. I was raised by the northern equivalent of a yellow dog Democrat, meaning they would vote for whoever was the Democrat, even if it was a yellow dog. But my biological family, well, almost all of them have voted for Trump. Now, I don't know about the gun lobby position, but I do know my biological family's position on reproductive justice, and it varies very much from my own. Suddenly, I wasn't so sure of my own theology of welcome and who I had already cast outside the circle in my own mind. In the words of the poet Edwin Markham, he drew a circle that shut me out, heretic, rebel, a thing to flout. But love and I had the wit to win. We drew a circle and took him in. Welcome is clear in the abstract, who is in and who is out, righteous and right. But in the human encounter where our faith is lived, welcome is a spiritual practice that takes all of who we are and relies upon the ability to rest in a trust of who we might become together. Welcome is more than a come here to be tolerated. In the faithful practice, each are transformed by the encounter of welcome. And what's more, in our very finite, limited experience in being human, a deep and abiding welcome can create infinite transformations. It can alter generations and make possible worlds to come. It's an encounter with the great mystery itself. 22 years ago, tomorrow, on September 11th, the U.S. was attacked by terrorists who used religion as ideological weaponry. On that day, I was a senior in high school. I remember the moment my best friend since kindergarten and I stood there in upstate New York in AP biology class and watched as that second plane hit, realizing in a moment together that this was not an accident. We each likely here have a story of that day, either one we lived or one we were told. In the days that followed, a wave of community, a sense of togetherness swept our country, but something else swept our country too, you might recall. Hate crimes against Muslims and the Sikh community, or Sikh in its anglicized version, soon erupted across the United States, as some Americans wrongfully associated a religion, a way of dress, a race as threat and target for fear and rage. Among the victims of hate crimes in the days and weeks that followed was activist and author Valerie Kaur's uncle, Balbir Singh Sodhi. 4 days after September 11th, a man in Arizona followed her uncle, having vowed to shoot someone who was Muslim, and killed him. That moment changed her family forever. 15 years later, Kaur found herself, having spent her life dedicated to ending violence, presented with the opportunity to meet with her uncle's murderer. She said yes, in her words, to quote, end the cycle of violence. She was joined by her uncle's brother, Rana. And in the beginning, beloved, this conversation did not go well. Her uncle's murderer only referenced the unfortunate thing that happened, as if he hadn't been the one to take his life. Just as Valerie was about to give up on any hope of reconciliation or forgiveness or understanding. Her uncle's brother, Rana, reminded the man who killed her uncle of how, just a few days after the murder, he had seen the man's wife and daughter in town, and his family invited them over for dinner. A connection was made. The man softened and said that he recalled that and was so grateful. And then he said, "I want you to know from my heart I'm sorry for what I did to your brother. One day when I go to heaven to be judged by God, I will ask to see your brother, and I will hug him, and I will ask him for forgiveness." Cower writes of welcome and belonging, quote, "I was beginning to learn that home is the space within us and between us where we feel safe and brave. It's not a physical space, as much as it is a state of being." Welcome comes from the practice of creating home beyond the physical space of a shelter. Welcome as a spiritual practice can prevent harm, transform violence, and seed hope that otherwise dared never sprout. But welcome doesn't come naturally to most of us. We have to learn how to be welcoming. A year ago, a few leaders from Beacon attended a regional training on welcoming versus othering. And they learned about easy practices to widen the circle of welcome. Things like, instead of saying, "You must be new here," to someone on their first time, saying, I haven't met you. My name is, I'd like to get to know you." The first conveys, even if you've been attending for years, you're invisible. The second is an invitation for relationship. Or instead of saying, "What do you do for a living?" asking, "What brought you here this day?" The basis for this training is leading from a place of invitation, deep listening, and respect. As Reverend Alicia Ford puts it, in our hands is the power to craft a compelling narrative of extraordinary respect, of welcome and transformational community for our Unitarian Universalist present and future, as we hear. And it's good to hear. About 12 years ago, I was serving as the minister in a congregation in the north part of Charlotte. It was a small, growing church in a conservative area of the country. And I'd recently been the target of some hate mail and calls. My home had been protested as I was an out queer minister and became a target myself. It was an ordinary Wednesday when the administrator and I were there alone at the church, just talking about the newsletter and to-do items, when we saw a pickup truck with a gun rack pull into the parking lot. Immediately, the administrator pointed to the security cameras we had installed and looked at me as a man in full camouflage got out of the truck and walked toward the door of our offices. As he rang the bell, I saw the panic in her eyes, and I said, "I'll go." Not feeling very brave as I opened that door and kept the glass door between us and scanned the man for a weapon, I said, "Hi there." "Hi," he said, I heard you speak recently at a rally." I felt my body tense. Oh no, here it was coming. And then the man stopped because he started to cry, tears coming down his face. And finally, he choked out the words, "My son is gay, and he and I have had some hard times." And I just wanted to say, thank you. I didn't know what to say. All I could do was motion, "Come in, please." I learned his name is Frank, and we sat down as for over an hour, Frank shared with me his story and undid all of the assumptions and terror that had captured my heart just a moment before. Over the years, Frank became one of our most dedicated members of that congregation, and really a UU evangelist, I would say. And on the day that I got married at a very open, large venue, Frank was there as a veteran, ensuring that no protesters showed up and ruined the day. I have always been grateful that I went to the door that day. Beloved, our faith calls us to the door, to the spiritual practice of welcome. In a world that says keep it shut, stay inside, figure out who's in and out, our faith says, although all the instances of violence can be cited, we are called to the irrational and transformational act of welcome. We are called indeed to remember our history as heretic and rebel, and to remember our power to widen the circle. No one beyond God's welcome. And so we are asked for the insurmountable and yet possible task to kindle the fire of commitment again and again, to take that light out into the world as Amelia did just a moment ago and as Abby will at the conclusion of our service. To take that light out in the midst of despair and rage and fear and indifference and panic and terror. In the midst of the overwhelm, to kindle the light again, to widen the welcome. As Dr. Tooley so rightly said, we hope so that a new world can be born. Welcome, beloved, to Unitarian Universalism. Welcome.
And will you now stand in body or in spirit? Open your teal hymnal to hymn number 1028, The Fire of Commitment.
Our
Would you take hands or perhaps shoulders? For those who are online, extend your hands as our children return from their small group time.
Welcome back. Welcome home.
Welcome to healing and to hope.
Welcome to the light within you and within each human.
Welcome to a love that does not let go.
Welcome, beloved, to the promise, to the founding of a future.
To the light that guides us still, even in our joys and our sorrows. The light goes with you, beloved. Amen.
Do not leave your cares at the door. Do not leave them there when you come into this place. Be open to forgiveness and transformation. Come on in, you are welcome here. And do not leave your cares at the door. Oh, bring your pain and sorrow and joy. There's a place for them upon the altar of life. Be open to forgiveness and transformation. Come on in, you are welcome here. And do not leave your cares at the door. This is a place of grace, a place of losing and finding our way upon the winding road. Meeting and parting, stumbling and starting over. Leave your cares at the door. Do not leave them there when you come into this place. Be open to forgiveness and transformation. Come on in, you are welcome in. Come in and do not leave your cares at the door.